So just for the sake of being inappropriate, a little bit rude, how if you wanted to double that salary before you quit your job, how long on average does it take you now to make up your salary from the first, like,
About 6 weeks, maybe 6 weeks.
this is a pretty good exchange of your time, hey?
And
Yeah.
you only trade, what, 3 days a week?
3 days a week, and for sometimes it's only an hour in the morning.
So what are the secrets? How do some of the most successful entrepreneurs find the freedom that we all got into business for in the first place? How did they find the time, energy, and resources to launch and scale strong? And how do entrepreneurs like us align our time, money, and energy in a way that will allow us to reach what we set out to achieve? These are the key questions, and this community will give you the answers. Welcome to the Prosperity Movement.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for coming in today. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys coming on the call. I'm just going to tee things up a little bit and introduce some of the panelists, and we're going to dive right into the interview. And as you can see, I hope she's on your left as well. But to my left, we have Janelle. You know, she is one of our coaches here at Prosperity U. She's doing a lot of amazing things. She is working hands-on with people to improve their trading. She has some really great roles within our organization. Man, she has such a great heart, guys. She wants to see this place grow, and she gives herself and her time to this organization to make you guys better. So thank you so much, Janelle, for being part of the panel. My name's Dave. I'm also a member of the community. I've been working with the community now since pretty much from the start. And, I've just been blessed to be able to get coached and mentored by a lot of people from the community, like Brian, like Zach, like James. And you're going to hear from some of those guys towards the end of this call. And last but not least, the crown jewel on the panel right now is the man himself, Mr. James Leone, the master trader who we are interviewing tonight. I'm actually not going to do much of an intro for him because you're going to learn a lot about him today. But hey, let's get started because, man, I think this hour is going to go by fast with some of the questions we have. So I'm going to pass it off to my co-host, Janelle, to tee us off with our first question.
Awesome. Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dave. You're so sweet. We love you. We all love you. So James, we're actually going to start off today by asking you to give us a brief biography of your life. Just the short Cliff's Notes version.
That's a really open-ended one. Like my whole life, or just
let's do 3 minutes.
3 minutes. Okay. Yeah. 3 minutes. We'll try. The whole life though, yeah.
Yeah. Give us a high-level overview. Yeah. Give us a little autobiography.
A problem child. I hated school. I didn't have parents that pushed me or drove me or even really minded me. They used to check in once every couple of months or so. So I found myself in foster care. That changed things for me. They were nice people. I can't have been an easy kid though, but they were nice people. I'd already developed bad habits, if you like. I would be in bad company on my own. Anyway, they guided me right and I did well. I joined the army. It turned me around. I chased different jobs. I asked me foster mum once, I don't know whether to go for this job or stick with that one and try and get a promotion. And she said, chase the money, lad. And I think it was the best advice I ever got from her. Really, I did all right. I studied accounting. I hated school, but when I became an adult, I realized that actually learning doesn't have to be all sit in rows and be stupidly boring and pronounce it like French people. And, you can't use a calculator. What? Of course we can. In accounting, I was allowed to use a calculator, and the maths teacher, Roy, incited in me a passion for learning, I think. And one of the things he did, he took a Cokie pen and he started writing on a board behind him legibly. And then he swapped hands and he carried on writing equally legibly. And the two bits of writing joined up together. And he said, for those of you with a scientific calculator, it's this button. Where were you in school, I thought? Anyway, from accounting, I fell into trading kind of accidentally. Very, very thankful that I fell into that. I bought the company I was working for at the time with money I'd made from trading, gave myself a 50 to 60 hour week job and headaches with taxes and insurance and employers issues. And so I sold out of that in 2012 and kind of retired. I got dragged back in by people literally knocking on my door. Does the lad who trades live here? And will you teach me what it is you're doing? And that was it. I've been sort of, I was trading since 2004. I started coaching people in 2014. And I hope I've nailed that in about 3 minutes.
Beautiful. Yeah, great job, James. Hey, so you mentioned you were part of the military. So what did you do while you were there, and what did you learn while you were in the military?
Discipline, really. I mean, I could tell you all the bad stuff, but all the bad stuff is all the stuff you already know. You've all seen the movie. We all got to go off somewhere stupid and, cause problems for other people. And in hindsight, yeah, we probably didn't have to do that. Soldiers, it's not really a choice as a soldier. You do as you're told and you go where you're told, and that's it. I spoke recently about training and about only 2% of soldiers do any of the killing. Only 20% actually fire their weapon on the battlefield. And that's a discipline issue. The British Ministry of Defence are working on that now to try and increase those numbers, at least increase the numbers of the people who are firing the weapon. And not that that's a good thing, but the discipline part is in all aspects of your life, especially in trading. And I'm pointing over there because I'm just watching the NAS go through 12.3 as we speak, as predicted. And it's that level of discipline. If you bring that to the table, nothing else makes a difference to you. You just need that discipline and you're done.
Awesome. When you point that way, you're pointing at me, and I feel like you're talking to me about my discipline. So I'm going to work on
you're
that,
right there.
James.
You're much prettier than that chart. That
Thank
chart
you.
will make me more money, but I'd rather look at you.
Yeah, it'll definitely make you more money. Yeah. So James, from your military experience, what are some of the skills that you learned that you're still applying today?
Oh, like the ones I can admit now.
Yeah.
Okay, the ones I can admit would be the discipline part. It really is the discipline. When you're told to do something, and again, the chart is right there. The chart tells me what to do. It tells me what's going to happen. It doesn't tell you the exact when, but it tells you what's going to happen and be ready for it. And in the military, you learn, we're going to go through there, we're going to do this, and then we're going to open fire. Or if they come through here and come along this channel, we're going to open fire then. But we're going to be first to open fire. We're first to open fire.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now, here's another question. Like while you were telling your story, you said you sort of fell into trading. Do you want to just expand on that just for a quick minute? And like how does one just fall into getting into trading?
Well, as you can see, I've got a magazine in the background here. This one isn't about trading by any means. Sorry, it's more gun stuff. But I was on an aeroplane, and in the seat pocket in front of me was not the standard Aer Lingus or whoever it was at the time. There was a Shares magazine. That was the title, Shares magazine. And it was a long enough flight, so I sat flicking through the magazine. Partway through it, there was an article written by a man called The Chartist. And the Chartist wrote about oil and how, of course, it's going to go to $100 a barrel. This was in 2004. Excuse me. And so I read the article and I'm thinking, well, great. And me with me big gas guzzling car now. But $100 a barrel, he said, think about it. You've got oil, it was at $74 at the time. He said, you take a 1 litre bottle of water and buy it from, Walmart, Asda, Tesco, wherever, pour it into a 205 litre drum, tell me how much it costs you to fill the drum, and now tell me oil is expensive at $100 a barrel. Get on with it, suck it up, that's where it's going. In the same magazine was how to buy oil without them delivering barrels and barrels of it that I'd have to store somewhere. You buy it, you hold it a bit, you sell it. It was online trading. That's what we're looking at, Oil.
Awesome. James, what's been a bucket list goal for you that you had before trading that you've actually been able to achieve since trading?
Oh, I don't know. There have been no limits, really. I mean, there's only 2 things left on my bucket list, and I can't do them. So
Do you mind sharing?
I'm broken. I'm broken. Everything else that I ever wanted to do, ever, I've done it. I've achieved it. On my bucket list, a silly one, but I've never had a tattoo. I don't like. I always think when they find my body, I don't want it to be identified too easily. So I don't want a tattoo. The other thing is, I've always thought it would be interesting to smoke a cigar. But I've got this phobia about smoking and smoking materials generally. It's the only thing I'm afraid of. An ashtray, I don't know why. I can't explain it. I don't understand it myself. But an actual physical, even an empty ashtray. In the olden days here, we used to allow people to smoke in a bar or a restaurant. I couldn't sit at the table if there's an empty and clean ashtray at the table. Can't sit there. Someone's got to move that. So I can't achieve that bucket list goal. Everything else, yeah, I've been there, done that.
Wonderful. Well, do you want to just share something that you've checked off your bucket list, like something that you have done and accomplished, like something memorable from that list? I
suppose something that a lot of people can't or won't ever get to do. I took time out and I sailed across the ocean, and I did it twice, single-handed. I sailed from the east side to the west side of the Atlantic, and then from the west side back to the east coast of the Atlantic, well, you know, our side, this side of the pond. I also sailed the length of the Indian Ocean, and I did that twice as well, but that's not crossing it. I was sailing up and down it, you know. I suppose a lot of people can't do that. It's time out. If I waited until I retired, well, then the back might not be up to it. The legs might not be up to it. The brain might not be up to it. You know, there'll be so many things that I risk failing in me. So you can't pull the line, you can't cope in heavy weather. So it was right to do it when I was younger, but I could, so I did, you know.
And how long were those trips? Because so we only get like 2, 3, 4 weeks off a year. So how long?
I took 6.5 months on the journey. I actually took 2 years out, but that one journey took 6.5 months start to finish. Didn't see another person for the whole time.
Wow. And it's just like got the freedom of trading. So you traded, I imagine, very little, but you just built up a big cash reserve and were able just to say bye.
Cleared off. Yep.
Nice. Nice.
Awesome.
Man.
Okay, can I ask one?
Yeah.
Fire away.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to know a little bit about your family, James. I would like to know how you met your wife, and tell us a little bit about your kids and which one is your favorite.
Wait, will the others get to see this?
No, this will be closed.
No, well, I can tell you all, no problem. I met, you know, that company I bought. I bought a company, TE Laboratories, it was called, and my wife came to work there, and we met while she was working there. That's all, you know. Like there were other people in the business, other managers in the business, and the person that she reported to wasn't really a very nice person, and my wife now wasn't then. We were good friends, becoming boyfriend, girlfriend. And she said, I really want to go to this wedding, but she won't give me time off. And she was furious about this woman that wouldn't give her time off. And I said, why won't she give you the time off? Just tell her I said you've got holidays due and you want the time off, and tell her I've approved it. And she said, oh, well, there's no one to replace. Of course there is. So it was obvious that there was a bit of friction between the two of them. And I said, do you know what? Why don't you just quit the job? We're dating anyway. This is going to get awkward. You quit the job, and like we're together, aren't we? We're going to be all right. You're not planning on like finding someone else. And she said, no. Well, then just, you know, quit the job and we'll be all right. She said, I won't know how to spend money if I'm not earning it. And I said, I'll teach you how to spend money. I regret those words. I still, to this day, I regret having said that, but I said it now, so there you go.
I think that's probably the most famous last words any man has said to anyone in the history of time. That, huh? I'm going to show you how to spend money.
I'll teach you how to spend. I even gave it a credit card.
I
gave her a credit card. Oh my
man,
word.
I am dating wrong. I am doing it wrong.
Yeah, no, I really shot myself in the foot with that one.
Well, tell us a little bit about your kids.
Okay, well, Stacey is my youngest, and Stacey is Cash's daughter. That's our daughter together. Kasia and I have been together since 2007-ish, 8-ish. I don't know. Oh, excuse me. I don't know how many years that is off the top of my head now, but it's a long time. I'm sure she's fit to kill me by now. Stacey's 8, so somewhere along the line we made Stacey. I wasn't lucky in relationships prior to Kasia, so I have 3 other children. Stephanie is my eldest. She's born in 95, so that means she'll be 30 in 2 years. She's 28. Connor is a year younger. He's her brother, and he's 1 year younger. And then Claire will be 19 in September, and she's the sort of little girl in the middle, the piggy in the middle. Stacey's nearly 9 now, so they're my kids. And who's the favorite? It's got to be Stacey. She's the youngest. She's the most fun. She's obviously by now the most spoiled. She's the one that I get into the most trouble with. She's the one that tells her mummy, "I fired Daddy's gun." and you don't want to know all the other stuff that I'm in trouble for. But she's done things that probably kids of 8 perhaps shouldn't. I let her drive my car, and I don't mean in the garden. Her school is about 200 meters down the road. I'll pick her up in the car. She sits on my lap, and she steers the car home, like up the road, and it's a road, like it's a proper road. And we pull in here, and then we reverse around the house, and their mum's in the kitchen window. One day I'll get into trouble for it. For now, I've gotten away with it, and it's a laugh. She loves it, and that's what counts.
Oh, wow. Well, hey, we're going to just backpedal just for a second. Actually, one of the attendees posted a question. It says, how does someone develop better discipline without going into the military?
Okay. Regardless of the military, and I mean regardless of the military, we had, as foster kids, now, Stella is my foster mum, okay? Now, she has 3 kids of her own, and then she took on 5 foster kids, okay? Now, Stella has a slipper. Do you have slippers? When you're in the house and you have shoes for your feet, slippers, okay? So that's how you get discipline. You think of Stella coming after you with a slipper. For me, the right way to explain it as a mentor, what I'd say is, do you want the money or not? Do you? You've got to ask yourself that question. The money will keep you disciplined. What motivates you? Do you want the money in the bank? Do you want to be able to provide nice things for your kids? And I'm pointing up there now because there's pictures of my kids up there. There's pictures of them up there as well. But that's it. With those pictures of your kids in mind, I have 4 kids. There's 2 of them. Well, all of them now live in Ireland. 2 of them were born in South Africa. 2 of them were born in Ireland. But all of them are here in Ireland. They all wanted to be a near daddy. They wanted to be near daddy because they got guided well. They got supported well. They got money for the university fees. I didn't ever lose touch with them just because I broke up with the mum. I didn't say, oh, well, they're your problem now. I paid for them and I kept in touch with them and I flew back regularly to visit and spend time with them throughout the years. So now they live here, and my eldest has just bought herself her and her boyfriend. They bought themselves a house in Cavan. Cavan is the town. They did it from money that he's earned from trading. I taught him to trade. They're doing really well, and I'm very, I couldn't be happier for them. They keep saying thanks to me. It's not thanks to me. They did it.
But it's gotta be nice to have that guidance for sure.
Yeah, he wasn't in the military,
No, but he got the guidance from you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so James, based on your earlier trading career, what resources or places of information did you seek out first?
One website called babypips.com. www.babypips.com. There's an education section in there, free. There's also forums in there of which I contribute. I contribute under my own name and I contribute under some assumed names as well. There's a lot of loonies out there,
Definitely.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Okay, awesome and powerful resource. Now, you mentioned that one of your kids is trading. So, like, are they still working and trading on the side, or is trading their primary means of income?
Well, for Jason, sadly, he's on a South African passport. So for him to obtain an Irish passport, he needs to have a job here. And so he does have to work, but only till he gets his passport. He's got like till summer, I think it's till June of this year, and then he can apply for his passport and he don't need work anymore after that.
So you're saying that he's financially independent of any
Yeah.
job, and that full trading.
And he's 30. He's 30 years of age and he can stop
Lucky.
working.
Now, when did his trading journey start? Did he start a few years ago when he was 20, when he's 25? Like, tell us a little bit.
2017, February 2017, he arrived here in Ireland with me to learn with me. That's when they came here, when Stephanie finished her university. Within 6 months, they came here. Within 3 months of that, I'd sort of got him on the right track. I'd got him started. Within 6 months of that, they bought themselves, well, not bought, they moved into a place of their own and they bought their own first car. They did that. Then the bastards went and bought 4 motorbikes. He races them, so he bought a couple of racing bikes, a pit bike, a road bike, and she bought this cafe racer. Never ridden a motorbike in her sudden life, and she bought this BMW cafe racer. And I mean, I can't criticize because I like bikes and I'm into bikes as well, so fair enough. But yeah, they've done all that all by themselves. They've moved into their own place and they're busy renovating it as you do and making it, putting their own stamps on it and things like that. There you go, an Indian bike. Nice one, Dan.
There you go. That's awesome. That's awesome. All right. I did see another one from Mark here. It says, James, if you could change one thing during your trading journey, what would it be? That's a good question. I couldn't pass it up.
During my trading journey.
If you could change one thing during that journey, what would it be?
In terms of the learning and application process, nothing. Absolutely nothing. In terms of the teaching people, there is a couple of them who I've taught who I would first have taken to one side, beaten the snot out of them, and then I'd have taught them. But I'd have wanted them to be sensibly humble going into it first. Because some people go in with this big I am and I know, and the market then hands them their asses on silver plates. And I never ever figured I was a big noise. Like, I'm nobody. That's the reality. Whatever I get introduced as, I'm nobody. And I accept every day when I sit in this chair to look at those charts, first thing I say, I am nobody. Now, what you gonna tell me?
We disagree with you here on that part, but
Yeah, you're special to us, James.
appreciate your ability to say it, but we disagree. We think you're wonderful. So a lot of people actually don't realize that you have to treat trading like a business in order to be successful. And to be successful, you have to measure your results, including things like your hold percentage. So what was your hold percentage early in your trading journey compared to now? And what has the journey been to get there?
In honesty, way back then, I didn't look at that. Never even crossed my worried mind. Way back then, it was just, oh my Lord, look how much money I've made. Oh my Lord, look how much money. Every day that I pushed buttons on the screen was, oh my word, what money I've made. So I never considered hold percentage or win-loss ratio. The very first trade I placed, absolutely, I was lucky. And then I studied, and the more I studied, the luckier I got. And it was, I had a conversation once with a guy who was, he was all about drawdown. You must know your drawdown. And I was thinking, what's a drawdown? Right. Okay. Yeah. No, it's a thing. I know now it's a thing, but back then I didn't know it was a thing. I didn't know. I thought, is that the money you're drawing out? No. Apparently, that's when a trade goes against you. That's what a drawdown is. Oh, you see, I didn't know because I'd never had it happen. Who knew?
Now, if you could take maybe just a guess about what your win-loss ratio was back then, and then maybe make a little mention and a plug of what that win-loss ratio is now.
In the first year, I had very little in the way of losses, and I made 1.2 million in the first year, a bit more than that actually. That's why I bought that company. And then now this year I've had no losses. I did have 4 losses last year. So I do have them. I do accept them as a factor. It does happen. But you know, when you sit and you're disciplined and you wait for the right setup, and I mean wait. We've sat in these sessions sometimes, my go live sessions, my live trading sessions with people literally watching and listening to what I'm saying. And we've waited and we've waited, sometimes for 50 minutes plus. But there's one particular session we waited from 1400 till 1453 before we got a trade. 53 minutes of the hour we're sat. We're bored, we're waiting. It'll eventually get there. When it gets there, it'll do this, and then it'll go, and then we can buy it. And boom, didn't it go? But bloody hell, we waited. That's what I do. I wait. I'm happy to wait. But you ain't taking any money off me.
Beautiful. Well, hey guys, for everyone in the chat, I see you guys are posting questions. In the bottom left-hand corner of your Zoom button there, you'll see a Q&A button. I'm not going to answer questions or ask questions from the chat anymore. If you could use the Q&A button just so I can keep it straight in my mind, that would be great. Thank you to everyone in the audience.
There's one there from BC that might be worth asking. What would you tell aspiring traders that think a strategy and indicator scanners are enough to become a professional trader?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Why don't you take that one away?
What would I tell them? I tell them they're all right. You do need those. You do. But one of the main things, the absolute essential ingredient that a lot of people don't realize is an essential ingredient would be a mentor. I'd want a mentor. Now, I have mentors. They're informal. They're like my peers. They're people who do what I do. They're friends of mine who I've made along the way, who do what I do. And I talk to them. And I don't say, oh, what's your whole percentage and what's your wins and what have you got on your charts? I ask, how are you feeling? How do you feel? How are you getting on? And those kind of questions, because those are the ones that really matter. What's on your chart? It just tells me whether you're organized or not, whether you can be consistent or not. But what's in here and how you're going to use it, how you're going to let it affect you. So many people go, oh, I had a loss. Oh, my God, the world's over. And then they start trading and revenge trading and chasing it and being an idiot. So if you mentor those people, or if you have a mentor that will say, hang on a minute, it happens. Didn't you ever stub your toe on the end of the bed? I did. Did you burn the bed down? No, I didn't. Okay. Do you wear slippers in the bedroom now? Because you know you've got a hard end of the bed there. I do. So you learned a lesson, didn't you? It's not what the market will do. It's how you will react to what the market will do. There's road rage, isn't there? You know, people drive. We drive. Everyone drives. And you'll see Egypt on the road all the time. They're there, they're out there, they're using their phone, they're like this driving and they're supposed to see you. You know, people are like that. They will break rules, they will do things that are stupid. As a sensible mentor, yeah, I could go, oh, I'm going to crash into him because he's using his phone and it'll be on camera that he was using his phone. It'll also be on camera that I swerved, you know, so, or I could shout at him and create an argument. How will that help me? Stuff him, let him hit someone else. Let it someone else's problem, you know? And ideally, we need a mentor to be able to put our feet on solid ground and tell us, wait a minute, don't react badly in a situation. A strong heart is necessary because you're dealing with a more powerful adversary, if you like. The markets are much more powerful than we are. So you need a strong heart, but you need a strong mind as well, because you are still up against it. You need to think clearly, you need to act responsibly, you need to be brave and clever, and that's all. Well, you don't really, you just need to be feet on the ground, no emotion, like, you know. But you need a mentor to tell you all that.
So in helping other people with being able to change their mindset, what are some of the evolutions of thought that you had around trading your life when you started becoming successful in trading?
Well, it was always the reason for me. It was always, why did the market do that? Why did the why? Ask why. Why did it do that? And then investigate the why. And the more, excuse me, minor cough. The more you interrogate the charts, the more you investigate the why things happen, the more you'll be able to interpret when they're going, or that they're going to happen again, because you look at it and you go, oh, it did that before. The last time it did that, perhaps the last 7 out of 10 times, because that's what we're looking at here. We're looking at probability, high probability, low risk. That's what we're looking at. So it can be predicted. And we've proved that over and over again, haven't we? Every day, every session.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Well, hey, staying on this sort of mindset psychology type train, Dan asked, do you have any tips and tricks on how to get your mindset right while trading? Do you have some things that you currently use, James, to move that forward in your life and your trading career?
Yeah, if you need to be someone who bitches about things, bitch about the small stuff like, damn, I'm out of coffee. If you need to be someone who plans things, plan, I've got enough coffee. If you need to be someone who worries about things, worry about, have I got enough coffee? Do focus on things like that in terms of taking your mind off the fact that there's a chart there that can either give or take away from you a lot of money. Your emotion towards that chart should be absolutely neutral. It should be to you the tool of the trade. If you were working for McDonald's, it's your fryer and your frying burgers. If you were a taxi driver, it's your taxi. It's just the tool of the trade. You've got much more serious worries. Is there enough coffee? Am I allowed more coffee? Is it still hot? That's the stuff that you want to sweat on. Worry on that because, well, that's easy fixed. You text your wife and you say, bring me more coffee. Then you get hit on the head with something and you text your daughter and you say, would you ask your mummy to bring me some more coffee? Because no one can say no to Stacey.
That's wonderful. James, you've actually mentioned in the past that if you're not learning, you're pretty much dead in life. So what resources are you currently using to expand your education, either inside or outside of trading?
Generally, the charts. Literally, I look at the charts. You guys have known me for a while now, and haven't we already maybe gone through 2 or 3 different layouts in terms of it's the same indicators? It is always the same indicators. We have not changed indicators since 2017 or 18, I think. That's the reality. But we do tweak them instead of it being these settings. Oh, it's these settings with these levels. Why? Well, because look at them and you'll see the why. You know, it's because I've been playing with it. I've been tweaking it. And I usually do that when on the downtime, you know, when there's either nothing happening on the charts, or over Christmas, I do it a lot. And that helps me to learn. It's like if you had an engine and you wanted to learn about mechanics, you'd strip the engine and you'd try and put it back together. So I strip the chart and I try and put it back together, tuning it so that it works better than it did when I took it apart.
Wow. Awesome answer. Yeah, maybe just to backpedal a little bit, you know, someone actually had a question about your son who learned to trade. Like, now he asks, did your son who learned to trade struggle at all with the discipline? Or, you know, did he just, because of your coaching, you know, just get like success straight away?
We're very lucky. It's my son-in-law. Jason is my son-in-law, and he's Stephanie's boyfriend. And we're very lucky in that, you know, so many people, you give them tasks to do and they'll say, yeah, I'll do that. Well, my office is laid out in such a way that there's another chair just there and a big screen back to back with this one and that big screen there and that chair. That's where his laptop was when he first got into this. He was there. So I was here and he was there, and it was, have you done this bit of your homework yet? I was just about to. Well, go on then. Have you done it now? I'm still doing it. Okay, well, let me have a look at it when you've done it. What do you think of this layout? and I'd be, in the middle of it. What do you think of this? What are you seeing? How do you interpret that now? What's it going to do next? And I would be asking him all those loaded questions. I know what it's going to do, but I wanted to know that he knew what it was going to do. And yeah, he knew what it was going to do. So, well, he did after the time, and that's just great. The other thing is, I find that he's very like me, in that, like, okay, my parents didn't die, they just didn't want us. His died, and so he had he was brought up by people who weren't his real parents. And I think because of that, he and I have a lot in common. He had a rough and poor upbringing. I did. He wanted to do a lot better. I wanted to do a lot better. So there's so much that he and I have in common. Like, I think if he ever breaks up with my daughter, she can piss off and I'm keeping him.
So yeah, if they ever break up, you'll take him in the divorce. You'll take him in the divorce. All right. Okay. So we see you there. Thanks
We
so much.
established she's not the favorite.
No, well, she's the eldest. She's all grown up now. I don't get any hugs off her anymore.
I actually have another question from a member of our community. She messaged it to me earlier today. So Donna would like to know, James, what were your top 2 struggles or obstacles that you've had to overcome in trading?
Distraction. Distraction would be the number one, the absolute number one, whether it's from questions from other traders or in the early days when, I said, okay, I won't go to work anymore. I'm just going to stay home and trade. Now, I'll be absolutely honest with you. We could have then, and we could now, just live off my savings. But when I quit work, I wasn't 50 yet. And I thought, that's a lot of years to live off that. It's quite a chunk of money. It would have lasted. It's still lasting. I haven't touched it. But I've always been, I want to say frugal, but the right word. I've always been a tight git. And I like to have the money in the bank. So I don't like to live on savings, which means I like to keep my hand in, or I like to keep trading. I worked in the house. I had an office in the house, and there was distraction there when Stacey was born, when Cassie was. There's always like, well, you're not doing anything. I'm looking at the chart. Yeah, but you're not doing anything. So you could take me for my facial. You could take me to get my nails done. You could take me for what? Didn't I just buy you the car? Would you not piss off and go on your own? Oh, you don't want to take me like that. So that kind of thing was a problem. We sat down and we had a conversation about it. And they said, I said I'd teach you to spend money. Do you want the money to spend, or do you just want to blow the savings? Because when I die, they're yours. Them savings are yours then. Oh, well, no, I want you to still earn. Well, then you got to leave me alone and let me do my thing. So we got to a level whereby she wouldn't speak. She'd come into the office and stand behind me and look at me. And I know she's there. I know, I can feel it. I heard the door open, so I know you're there. But that's no different. What do you want? So anyway, the office is out here now. This log cabin is about 5 meters away from the house, which is over there. And I get peace here from the family and the house. And I can do my own thing. I can play my music. I've got that nice little Bose thing there that blasts out nice music for me. And I sit and do my own thing, and they leave me alone. Distraction would be the absolute number one biggest problem. There are none other than that. That's it.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Awesome, James. So we have a more technical question from a O'Neill from the chat. I'm just dissecting this so I can make it a quicker question. He says the 1 minute chart is too quick for me, so I use it on a 3 and 5 minutes, but I had losses today. Here's the thing. I tend to set a take profit of 20 pips and a 10 to 12 pip stop loss. I think, if you want to read that question, but he basically
I don't see it, but I get the gist of it.
Yeah.
A 1 minute chart is too fast for you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Look, I've got a watch on with a second hand. If I sat here and I begged everyone to say nothing for 1 whole minute, 1 whole minute is 60 seconds. That's how long it takes for a bar to form. Don't tell me it's too fast for you. 60 seconds. I said that 10 seconds ago. I started talking 10 seconds ago, right? And I'll keep an eye on when the full minute is up. There's a bar on the go right now with 13 seconds into it. we're not reactionary. Well, we are reactionary traders, but we're not. We haven't got to be quick on the draw. We predict every damn thing that happens on that chart. 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute. I don't care. We are predicting everything. So whether it rejects the line on a 3 minute or a 30 minute, who cares? It's rejecting the bloody line. Whether it gives divergence on a 5 minute, a 3 minute, or a 1 minute, divergence is divergence. A signal is a signal. A 1 minute chart will give you a smaller stop loss. And you can end up with, well, we ended up with 150 pips off of that 1 minute trade earlier this evening. Like, so 3 minute chart, too fast for you? We've just gone the minute. That was a minute of talking and we're in a bar. It's not fast. A 1 minute chart is not fast. It takes 60 seconds to form. And if you're properly planning your trades, a 1 minute chart isn't too fast. If you're distracted, yeah, my chart's over there. If I'm busy with Facebook or YouTube or Instagram or TikTok or whatever the hell else you've got your nose stuck into, yeah, the 1 minute chart's too fast then. But if you're focused on your chart and you're focused on your trading, that's not too fast. You're not applying yourself properly. That's all. You're not applying it right.
Yeah, and Brian has a good comment on a 3 to 5 minute chart. Yeah, like having that tight of stop loss on that bigger timeline is great. And hey, if you're lots of people in the community are working until they can get this to be their full-time income. Yeah. So you know what? Like find a time throughout the day where you can have that uninterrupted time. Where you can monitor and trades. Like I work and I trade in the morning, sometimes before my kid wakes up, and I just create the time in my space. So maybe it's more of a scheduling thing than trying to trade and be multitasking at the same time.
The charts always give you your stop loss. You can't pick a number. The charts tell you how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
You'll get there, O'Neill. He's one of our newest elite members, actually.
Congratulations, O'Neill.
Good question. I'm proud of you.
Welcome aboard. It'll be nice chatting to you in the future and steering you a bit more correct.
Absolutely. I have a question from Short. He would like to know, what was the first strategy that you ever used, James?
The first one, we used to call it the double cross. That was what it was called way back. And then it progressed a bit to the DWL, double white lines. It's the same thing, just with a kind of a kink in it. At this time, on this day, if you like, it's used by 3 major companies in the world. One of them in London, one's in London, one's in Belgium, one's in the USA, and it's got different names. It's called the DT2. It's still called the DWL3 in one of the places, and it's called Dynamic Edge. It's a double cross. It's just a minor variation on the double cross. A cross at the bottom and a cross at the top, and all.
Beautiful. Now, hey, there's been an ever-evolving growth within our community with strategies that you've helped develop and gotten impact from students. Like you just mentioned, you had Dynamic Edge, and then there's MLS, and then there was Pod, and there's Disciple, and now there's Morse, and there's many other iterations that have happened along the way. But what have been some like key factors or motivations attributed to the creation of these tools? And tell us a little bit about the background like on them and your thought process about creating these tools for the community.
Okay, most of the creations come from, I'm trying to find a nice way of saying it. There really isn't, so I'll apologize right away now for my language. Some bastard comes along and says, oh, this happened, and they're whinging about an indicator that they misinterpreted or didn't see or didn't pay any mind to. We used to use a DMI, a directional movement index, but it was at the bottom and they were looking at the price. So that's why the ST line replaced the DMI. It's because, well, that's there, that's right by the price. How do you not see that now? It's right there in your face. It's not down there anymore. So that was, that's one of the ways we evolved. There was the other one about, I came out too early. Was that still green? It was. What was your excuse to come out there? That was still green. and that's it. I'm basically removing excuses. Did you ever have that one kid that you know that always has an excuse for something? You know, we're going to do this, and he comes up with an excuse. That one kid or that one child, that one painful member of the group that is the one, you know, the Tao takeaway opinion, there's always one. That one guy, yeah, now I've taken that away from you. What you got now? What's your excuse now? Yeah, you haven't got one. Get on with it. Do it properly and don't skip bits. I just keep taking away excuses. And the more excuses they fire at me, the more we tweak until we find one. You can't find me an excuse in that one, you know?
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of disciple. Keyword in that is discipline, because I had a little bit of lack of that, right? But yeah, the color system, hey, green means buy, red means sell. How do you mess that up? And it's been, it's been an incredible trade journey. And yeah, thank you for putting the time and effort to make it a little bit more idiot proof, because I haven't beat all the idiot out of me yet. So
they're out there. That's right, Dan. They do.
We have one more question here from the chat, but if anybody has any, we still have a couple more minutes to answer for you. But James, Jerry would like to know, since we're not supposed to TikTok or Instagram or Facebook while we're trading, do you only listen to music while you're looking at the charts?
Yeah, I do. Just music. I will sometimes play chess, but I'm spoiled rotten. There's screens all over the place. So I can put chess in a small corner right next to my charts.
What's your favorite go-to to listen to though, James? What's your playlist?
Oh, it varies a lot. At the minute, I've got Sting on the go. With the words will come out in the future, but I'm listening to that one a lot at the moment. That's on my playlist. The what's it called? The Shape of My Heart. That's in there. I like that. Top of the list at the minute.
Awesome. Maybe we need a James Leone Spotify playlist for when we're checking the charts. Eh?
Yeah, but not with my voice on it.
No, you just a playlist of your favorite songs. You don't have to sing.
Okay, I'll share it with you.
We take that too, though.
Yeah, I've got some George Ezra. I've got what's his name? Ed Sheeran. Bad Habits. But in my head, I'm not hearing my bad habits lead to you. I'm hearing your bad habits lead to me.
Awesome. James, okay, so you talked about this very quick rise in trading. It seems like you processed a lot of information very, very quickly. You found success very quickly. So when you started looking at trading to become your full-time income, what goals did you have and want to achieve through trading, as well as did you ever envision it being this big, you being a coach, coaching multiple seven-figure earners, showing people financial, could you see what you're doing now, or is this just all sort of part of the beautiful journey?
Well, this is part of the journey. I never envisaged any of this. I didn't plan to teach anyone other than my kids. That was the plan. I did put a course together, but it was to teach them. You know, in reality, they were growing up in South Africa. There was no way they were going to get jobs, no way they were going to stay there. It was a case of, when you finished your education, not going to be the best education over there, come here and I'll teach you to do this, and you can be traders for a living. And then, yeah, as I say, some guys knocked on my door one day. Does the lad who lives here trade, you know? And does the lad who trades live here? That was their exact words. And it was that, you know, when I was quitting the job, when I was quitting working and everything, people were saying, how are you doing that now at your age? That's not right. And I'd mentioned, well, I trade as well. I make more doing that than I was doing this. And you mentioned goals. I thought to myself, if I can do twice from trading, double basically what I was earning in a salary in a job, I'll be happy enough with that. That'll be great, because there's no tax on it, you know. And sure, I was doing that. I was making a week's wages in 15 minutes. So it was a no-brainer, you know.
So what was that number? If you don't mind sharing, what was your old salary, and then you wanted to double it?
When I quit, I was on about 75,000 a year. And I got benefits. I had a fuel card and a company credit card and stuff like that. They're for business expenses, lunches and things like that, But I'd buy me flights on it, and I'd go and visit my family on it and things like that, So there were a lot of what's the word I'm looking for? Under the table tax benefits of it all, and I was aware of it. I knew what rules I was bending, if you like. So I was looking to make somewhere between 150 and 200,000 a year. And I knew that was lowballing it, because in my first year I made 1.2. So I figured I wanted to be lazy as well. I'm naturally lazy, and it's one of my mottos, isn't it? I say I like to do as little as possible in the morning and then slacken off in the afternoon. So I figured if I did a couple hours here and a couple hours there, I'd be able to walk away with a couple 100,000 a year, and I won't worry.
So just for the sake of being inappropriate, little bit rude, how if you wanted to double that salary before you quit your job, how long on average does it take you now to make up your salary from the first, like?
About 6 weeks, maybe 6 weeks.
This is a pretty good exchange of your time, hey?
And you only trade, what, 3 days a week?
3 days a week, and for sometimes it's only an hour in the morning.
The rest of this interview is exclusive to members. You can email support@prosperitymovement.online to learn how to become a full member. There has never been a better time than now. We look forward to seeing you soon on an upcoming event or in person over Zoom. Bye for now.